योऽन्तः प्रविश्योमवाचं मां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं किं गुरुं हि स्वयं सत्यः प्रज्ञाभक्तिविनीतयः दिहिप्तिश्चापि वृता नित्यं तं गुरुं प्रणमाम्यहम् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. So in yesterday's class we read the first two verses of Ganesha-bhujanga. We also explained what bhujanga means and how the term can be interpreted to mean the prosody as well as the metaphorical meaning and so on. We will read the first two verses and then we will continue further with the Bhujanga Stotra. Pranakshudra ninadabhiramam chalattandavoddandavat padmatalam लसत्तुन्दिलाङ्गो परिव्यालहारं गणाधीशमीशानसूनुं तमीडे ध्वनिध्वंसवीणालयोल्लासिवक्त्रं स्फुरच्छुण्डदण्डोल्लसद्बीजपूरम् गलद्धर्पसौगन्ध्यलोलालिमालम् गणाधीशमीशानसूनुं तमीडे अहम् ईशानसूनुम् ईडे कीदृशम् ईशानसूनुं गणाधीशम्. So this Bhujanga has totally 9 verses, as I told you, and 6 of them have the same line, the fourth quarter, Ganadhisha Mishana Sunum Tamide. The last 3 are different, as we will see. Here in the second verse, Galaddarpa Saugandhya Lolali Malam. The word Darpa, as I told you, has the general meaning of describing the arrogance found in the human being. But in this context, it has to be taken as the temple juice that is flowing out of the elephant. Later, as I was thinking, there is one thing which is common between this and the darpa that we find in human beings. So this darpa in the elephant, so it has to flow out. During that particular season, when this rut is flowing out, the behavior of the elephant will also be little different. And it can really harm people. And this darpa in the human being also is somewhat uncontrollable. It will exhibit itself. Understand? Once that is there, so it is a vice which has to be suppressed by us. But it can't be easily done. So unless you train yourself carefully, it is not possible. So that is one commonality between that darpa and this darpa. And this darpa can also hurt people, and it will severely hurt people. Okay? So this darpa is to be understood in that sense. Okay. Now we will go to verse 3. Prakashajjaparaktaratna prasuna Prakashajjaparaktaratna prasuna Prakashajjaparaktaratna prasuna Pravala prabhataruna jyotirekam Pravala prabhataruna jyotirekam Pravala prabhataruna jyotirekam वक्रतुण्डैकदन्तं प्रलम्बोदरं वक्रतुण्डैकदन्तं प्रलम्बोदरं वक्रतुण्डैकदन्तं गणाधीशमीशानसूनुं तमीडे. So this verse has almost half of it in one form compound. Okay? The 2/4 of the verse form a compound here. So the first half, Pravala Prakasha Japa Raktaratna Prasuna Pravala Prabhataruna Jyotirekam. Okay, up to this is one single word which has 24 syllables. Jyotihi ekam. Okay, these two are different. So Prabhataruna Jyotihi, till then we have. Here Prakasha means something which is clearly seen. Prakasha, Prakashamana, it is used in this sense. Japa refers to that hibiscus flower which is red in color. Aruna Jyotihi, as you see in the second half, Aruna Jyotihi. Aruna refers to Surya. Jyotihi is the light emanating from him. And the light that emanates in the early morning is indicated by the word Prabhata. Prabhata Aruna Jyotihi. If you see the other epithets that are found here, they also describe that same color. The word Pravala can mean two things. One is this coral. In Tamil we say Pavaram. Okay, so that will be sort of reddish orange in color. Okay, so that is also referred to as Pravala. Pravala is also used to refer to the tender leaves that come from the trees. So if you look at them, so particularly mango, etc., if you see, many of them in fact, so they will also be somewhat brownish red in color. So that also is referred by the word Pravala. Before the word Pravala, you find the word Prasuna. Prasuna Pravala. See? So the thing which has just come out, it is used in that sense, Prasuna. Okay? Susha. So this pra is prefix. So suyate means something which comes out. Okay? Then we have a suffix kta. So prasuna pravala. So the tender leaves which have just come from the branches, stem. Okay. So that also will have the same color. Then Japa, as I told you, is hibiscus, which is anyway red in color. Then we have Raktaratna. See, Raktaratna refers to ruby, that is also red in color. Now, this is a series of similes listed by the poet to describe the beautiful color that we find in Vinayaka. Okay, so that is how it is. Prakasha. In fact, there are such prayogas available. Even in one of the verses describing Saraswati, Bhasa kundendu Śaṅkara-bhagavatpāda bhasamana samana salmayevak devateyam nivasatu vadane sarvada suprasanna. So there, Kunda Indu, Kundendu Śaṅkara-bhagavatpāda. So that is a description. See, Kunda is this white lotus, Indu is Chandra, Kundendu, Śaṅkha is conch, which is also white. Kundendu Śaṅkara-bhagavatpāda. See, one whose hue is comparable to any of them. So this is a poetic way of describing the same color through various similes. So that is what he is saying. Pravakasha Japa Raktaratna Prasuna Pravala Prabhataruna Jyotirekam. Ekam Jyotihi. So something which is extraordinary. Okay? So this, in fact, there is another verse which actually Ekam Mahaha he uses. This Mallinatha. Mallinatha is the commentator of various kavyas of Kalidasa. So I think you read it once long ago. Antaraya timiro pashantaye Shantapavanamachintya Vaibhavam Tam Naram Vapushi Kunjaram Mukhe Manmahe Kimapi Tundilam Mahaha. See, Mahaha means the Jyoti. Tam Mahaha. See, Tam Naram Vapushi Kunjaram. Vapushi Naram Mukhe Kunjaram. See, so I offer my venerations to that luminous entity. See, Mahaha Vande Tam Naram Vapushi Kunjaram Mahaha. So, Tam Naram Vapushi Kunjaram Mukhe Manmahe Kimapi Tundilam Mahaha. Kimapi Tundilam Mahaha. Kimapi Mahaha means something which is extraordinary, which is indescribable by words. So, Kimapi Mahaha. So, that is similar to this. See, Prabhata Prabhavasi Prabhataruna Jyotirekam. Then, Pralambodaram. See, Lambodaram, we saw yesterday. Prakarshena Lambodaram. Pralambodaram. Vakratundai Ekadantam. See, Vakratunda Ekadanta. See, we have this, no? Tame Kadantame Kame Vachintayami Santatam. Okay, so Ekadanta and Vakratunda are basic descriptions of Vinayaka. Vakratundai Kadantam Ganadhishamishana Sunum Tamide. Okay, the next one. Vichitraspuradrat. You read this verse fully. Prakashajjaparaktaratna prasona prabhakaruna jyotirekam pralambodaram vakratundaikadantam ganadhishamishana sunum tamide. Vichitraspuradratnamala kiritam. Vichitraspuradratnamala kiritam. Vichitraspuradratnamala kiritam. Kiritollasachandra rekha vibhusham. Kiritollasachandra rekha vibhusham. Kiritollasachandra rekha vibhusham. Vibhushaika bhusham bhavadvamsahetum. Vibhushaika bhusham bhavadvamsahetum. Vibhushaika bhusham bhavadvamsahetum. Ganadhishamishana sunum tamide. Vichitraspuradratnamala kiritam. So this is again one single word. Kirita, as all of us know, means crown. Okay? Kiritam. Mala also we know. So this mala and kirita are described with a few phrases before that. Spuradratnamala. Then we have Vichitraspuradratnamala. So the mala and kirita are made of special gems. And these special gems, Ratnamala, Kiritam. And Spurat means something which is shining, glowing, okay, reflecting. And this reflection is something which is extraordinary, and it happens in multicolors. Okay. So variegated hues are seen in that. That is what is meant by Vichitra. Okay. So Visheshana. So in fact, if you see in a cut, if you see from this direction, it will show some color. If you cut in the other direction, it will show some color. So that is what is meant by Vichitra Sphuradratnamala Kiritam. So this is the first description. So the mala and the kirita, which is there in Vinayaka, okay? So he is having gems, and these gems are studded in such a way and cut in such a way that they reflect a variety of colors, and it is so beautiful to see. So that is the first description. Then we have Kiritolasa Chandra Rekha Vibhusham. Kiritolasa Chandra Rekha Vibhusham. Ullasa Chandra Rekha. Chandra Rekha is Chandrasya Rekha, Chandra Rekha. So the father also has, but he has in Jata. But Vinayaka has in Kirita. Understand? So Chandra Rekha. So that is something which is common between the father and the son. Ullasa Chandra Rekha Vibhusham. Kirite Ullasa Chandra Rekha. So this Chandra Rekha, so already that is glittering, and this Chandra Rekha adds to that. So he says the Chandra Rekha which is there in the Kirita. So he is adding much more charm. Kiritolasa Chandra Rekha Vibhusham means the one who has this as the ornament. The one who has the crescent moon as the ornament in his crown, which mutually they are so glittering, okay, adding to the charm. So that is the description that we find in the first half. Then we have two more phrases here. Vibhushaika bhusham bhavadhvamsa hetum. Vibhushaika bhusham. So this made me think a bit. So bhusha in Sanskrit means an ornament. Bhushanam, bhusha, both are used. Okay. Now this vibhushaika bhusham, how do we understand this? In fact, in the previous line, so this is a beauty of a great poet. So where he will try to bring in the same rhythm and the same sounding words. This is what is called Shabdalankara. Okay. So we have Vibhusham, it ends, once again it starts with Vibhusha, then we have Bhusha, Vibhushaika Bhusham. And this Eka Bhusham is another thing. Vibhushaika Bhusham. Vibhusha Eka Bhusha. Okay. This Vibhushaika Bhusham, I was thinking this Vibhusha should be understood as, there are in fact two ways in which one can understand this Vibhusha. This V prefix whenever we have, one refers to the Vishishta. Okay. Vishishtam Bhushanam Vibhushanam. Okay. Vishishta Bhusha Vibhusha. Vishishta means something which is extraordinary. Okay. Now you think of, there are various kinds of ornaments which one can think of, okay, at various levels, but all these ornaments are only showing some external, okay, something which can be tagged to you, which need not necessarily be value. Okay. Material value may be there, but it does not really add value to your life. In fact, that is why we have this, this Vidya. So Vidya Vibhushana. Vidya is the only Vibhushana. In fact, all this Vibhushanam can be taken by, okay, this is suppose some theft happens, so all this will go. And it may get destroyed. Okay? That is also a possibility. You may lose, either by natural calamity or by somebody snatching it away. It is possible. But if you have Vidya as Bhushanam, nobody can take. That is what is discussed. There is a nice verse. Na choraharyam, na charajaharyam, na bhratribhajyam, na chabharakari. Vyaye krite vardhataye vanityam. Repeat. Na choraharyam, na charajaharyam, na choraharyam, na charajaharyam, na choraharyam, na charajaharyam, na bhratribhajyam, na chabharakari. Na bhratribhajyam, na chabharakari. Na bhratribhajyam, na chabharakari. Vyaye krite vardhataye vanityam. Vyaye krite vardhataye vanityam. Vyaye krite vardhataye vanityam. See, these are the descriptions that are given. So the fourth quarter will give. See, you see, na chora haryam. This bhushanam cannot be taken away by a thief. Na chora haryam. See, earlier people used to have a lot of wealth in India, and suddenly some act comes, and then you cannot have land beyond this. So all that will be taken by the king. Okay, Raja Haryam. Something can be Chora Haryam, something can be Raja Haryam. But if you have this Vidya as your wealth, okay, Bhushanam, ornament, nobody can take it away from you. See, na Chora Haryam, na Charaja Haryam, na bhratribhajyam. So other wealth can be taken away by your cousin brother, this brother, that brother, etc. They may come and demand. Na bhratribhajyam, impossible. Okay? By compulsion, of course you can share. Na cha bharakari. Bharakari, this is a burden. In fact, this is a big burden. All other wealth is a burden. Okay, in fact, there is a nice verse. See, arjane, rakshane, dane, vyaye vapi cha vastunaha. See, in earning there is some difficulty. In saving there is some difficulty. In giving there is some difficulty. Right? Arjane, rakshane, dane, vyaye vapi. On its own, if it goes also, there are people who keep lamenting, I had to spend 8 lakhs for my treatment in Apollo hospital one day. Okay. So, Vyaye krite, so that Vyaya also causes difficulty. On the other hand, look at this ornament, this wealth. Vyaya. Vyaye krite vardhataye vanityam. You spend this wealth, it only grows. Right? So, this is a good opportunity. In fact, see, our Sanatana Dharma, so they asked me to do. So, I learned a few things now, a little more, okay, when I was trying to prepare for the classes. So it makes you learn little more. So if you share, you earn more. You don't lose. So this is Vishishtam Bhushanam. You understand? Vishishtam Bhushanam. This ornament. Nacha Bharakari. The other ornament, if you see, there are some people who try to show the big things even. I sometimes wonder how is it they are bearing this amount. Okay, amount of weight. So, na bhratribhajyam, na cha bharakari, vyaye krite vardhatayeva nityam. Now, you just take. This Vishishtam Bhushanam is Vidya. Okay, or Vidyavan. See, you can even go to that. Vidya Vibhushanam. Okay, Vidyavan. Okay, so Vishishta Bhusha Yasya Saha you can bring in. Okay, Vibhushaha. Okay, you can refer to a person who possesses this wealth. Okay, this ornament. Okay, this ornament, Ekabhusham, means, so without the blessing of Vinayaka, you will not be able to present the flow. The flow will be gone. Thoughts will not be presented. Even if you want to share, it has to be blessing. No, it has to come out. So, Antaraya Krintanam. So, it is this Vinayaka. So, who will help you in arresting. Okay. So, if there is something which Pratibandhaka arrests, so you pray him and that will be gone. Antaraya means Vighna. So Antaraya in gaining knowledge, so Antaraya in preserving this, Antaraya in sharing. So anywhere if there is a problem, so this Vinayaka will help. So therefore Eka-bhusham means, so the one who makes this ornament the ornament to function. You understand? So Vibhu Vishishta Vishishtam Bhushanam. Okay, Eka-bhushanam. So he is Vibhusha Eka-bhusham, means the only bhushanam which enables the other bhushanam to shine. Understand? So this is bhushanam of bhushanam. Vibhushaika-bhusham. The other way you can understand is, this V is also used in a negative sense in Sanskrit. See, Vigatam Bhushanam also you can say. You can either describe as Vishishtam Bhushanam or Vigatam Bhushanam, both will be Vibhushanam. Vibhusha, Vishishta Bhusha, Vibhusha, Vigata Bhusha, Vibhusha. Suppose you take that way, the one who does not have anything. Okay? Then also he is the only source. Okay? So for you to have any source of income. So anything that Pratibandhaka, Vibhushaika Bhusham. Okay, the one who does. In fact, there is a nice verse, no? Towards the end of Totakashtakam, he says, Vidita namaya vishadaika kala nachakinchana kanchanamasti guru. He says, Vidita namaya vishadaika kala. I don't have any expertise in any field. Neither have I enough resources with me. Okay? See, Vidita namaya vishada ekakala nacha kinchana kanchanam asti. So if you are that kind of a vibhusha, then Eka-bhusham. So you go and pray to Vinayaka. Any vighna that I have, okay? So in learning, in earning, whatever it is. So in having relationship, may all that be gone. So he is Eka-bhusham. Okay? Vibhushaika-bhusham. Then we have Bhavadvamsa-hetum. The word bhava in Sanskrit has several meanings. So those who do some Shiva Puja, they will know. See, the first thing that they will say is Bhavaya Devaya Namaha. That is Bhavaha. Right? So there you sit. Then we have other usages. See, Bhava also means Janma. See, Bhava also means Janma. So, Bhava Janma Bhavatiti Bhavaha. Okay. Then, when you want to describe Paramesha, you may have to say Bhavatyasmat, maybe, from whom things are coming out. Okay. So, that is also Bhava. Apadani, you use that. Okay. So, that is the suffix you may have to use. Now, this one, see, this Bhava here will mean Samsara. See, Bhava Bandhamochanaya, you will say. Okay. There, Bhava does not mean Shiva Bandhamochanaya. Okay. So, Bhava Bandhamochanaya means Bhavaha Samsaraha. So, Samsara. So, Bhavadvamsaha means Samsara Dvamsaha. Samsara Dvamsa essentially means the kind of afflictions that you are undergoing. The afflictions are possible only if you have Janma. So, then this Bhava can mean the cycle of birth and death also. This Bhava means cycle of birth and death. So this Bhavaha, Bhavadvamsa-hetum. So Vibhushaika-bhusham Bhavadvamsa-hetu means the one who is, after all, the samsara nivritti, atyantika samsara nivritti can happen only through Atma-jnana. Now, for Atma-jnana, there are all kinds of pratibandhakas. Okay? Forget about Atma-jnana, even attending classes. So, there are so many kind of pratibandhakas that are available. So, this nivritti has to happen. So, Bhavadvamsa-hetum. Okay? Vinayaka is going to help us in removing all this antaraya. So tam ganadhishamishana sunum tamide. Read this. Vichitraspuradratnamala kiritam kiritollasachandra rekha vibhusham vibhushaikabhusham bhavadvamsahetum ganadhishamishana sunum tamide. So ganadhishamishana sunum tamide. So this bhava, so this we need to understand in. So bhavaha can also actually mean kshema. See, kshema is also bhavaha. So this adhare, if you use the suffix, then bhu, then adhare, if you put the suffix, will be same. But so if it is used in the sense of adhara, it will be samsara. That is where it is used, bhavadvamsa hetu. If it is used as something which emerges from that apadane, then it refers to Parameshvara. If it is used simply in the sense of bhava, okay, bhuyate, so then, so it simply means, see, janma, bhuyate. Okay, that is how we have to understand this. Okay, anyway, next one. Udanchad bhujavallari. Udanchad bhujavallari. Udanchad bhujavallari. Drishyamulochalad bhrulata. Drishyamulochalad bhrulata. Drishyamulochalad bhrulata. Vibhramabhrajadaksham. 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 Marutsundari chamarai sevyamanam. Marutsundari chamarai sevyamanam. Marutsundari chamarai sevyamanam. Ganadhishamishana sunum tamide. Udanchat. See, this is again a difficult compound. The first half of the verse. So it is just a single word. So at least in the previous case, verse 3, at least we have ekam separated. Okay? So there were only 21 syllables. Here all the 24 syllables put together. Udanchat bhujavallari drishyamalochalat bhrulata vibhramabhrajadaksham. So this is one single compound. Now this last part, if you see, daksham. So I was initially thinking daksham. See, you could also have this confusion. Daksha means someone who is very efficient. But that does not fit here, okay? Bhrajadaksham. See, Bhrajat aksham. This is how you have to understand this, okay? So, Bhrajat aksham. So, this aksha here is used in the sense of ice. Okay? Aksha actually can mean any of the 5 sense organs. So anything that becomes evident to you through any of the 5 sense organs is, the process is also called pratyaksha and the entity is also pratyaksha. Anyway, so pratyaksham, that is what we use. So pratyaksha pramana, when you say, that which is evident to any of the 5 sense organs. Directly evident. Okay? So no inference involved. Then you say pratyaksha. Shabda is pratyaksha, rupa is pratyaksha and so on. So saksha should not be confused with akshi. Akshi is one of the akshas. Understand? The instrument. Okay? So this akshi, that is why we have Meenakshi, Kamakshi. Anyway, that we will not get into the grammatical aspect now. So this, so Bhrajat aksham. Vibhramabhrajadaksham. Then you have to say Bhrulata Vibhrama-bhrade Daksham. Then we have to say Drishyamulochalat Bhrulata. So we have to keep on forming the compound word by word. And what is described in my understanding is, after a long process of thinking, so this is basically we should understand as a amazing description of the dance that Vinayaka is doing. We have something called Nritya Ganapati. Okay? So when some pot-bellied person dances so well, we will enjoy all the more, right? So and that too with the truth. So all that. So this is the whole idea. I think apparently earlier there used to be short fellow, stout fellow. In Air India they had this. So if you see that, so it will be amusing. Now this will be all the more amusing. Bhagavatpada here so seems to be sort of describing that. See, Udanchat-bhuja. Bhuja means hands. Okay? So Udanchat means something which has been lifted up. Okay? So moved up. So Udanchat, Ancha basically means motion. So Ud means something which is going up. Udanchat-bhuja means the hands are lifted. In dance, so you will see that there will be a variety of movements that are created with the hands. Okay? You will sometimes rotate, you will sometimes lift up, you will sometimes. Then the most important thing is if you go to Delhi airport, they will show all kinds of mudras. 2 dozen mudras will be there. Okay? So that is something which is very, very important in dance. Now there should be a perfect coordination between the hand movement and the eye movement. Otherwise it will not be. So normally when there is a motion, you have to just turn your eyes also, that also has to go. So that is what it seems is being described here. See, Vallari. Vallari means creeper. Okay, Bhuja Vallari means the hand is described as a creeper. Okay, the body can be stem, so if it is too fat. So then this is a small creeper, you assume. Okay. Vallari. Drishya Mula. I was thinking this Mula is referring to the roots. So assume that the hand represents a creeper. Okay. So then you can think of the fingers, etc. Okay, to be the roots that are seen by you, because it spreads, you understand? So Vallari, so Drishya Mulo Chalat. So this is what is having motion. Okay. So Mula can refer to the end, to the tip. So the tip of them are having interesting motion. Drishya Mulo Chalat. So this is happening. Now Bhrulata basically refers to the eyebrows. So there will be movement of eyebrows, there will be movement of eyes. All of them will happen during dance. Bhrulata Vibhramaha. See, Vibhramaha is also a kind of motion. Okay. So Bhrulata Vibhrama Bhrajat means the one who is shining with this. Essentially, so this means, so you have a nice motion in your hands. So that is compared to a creeper. And the eyebrows is also sort of another kind of a thing. So they are following the motion of the hands. So this is the description that we find here. Okay. Udanchat bhuja vallari drishya mulochalat bhrulata vibhrama bhrajate means shines, glows, etc. Okay. Bhrajat aksham. So the one who possesses the eye which follows the motion of the hands and particularly at the tips of the fingers. Okay, so this is how you have to understand this particular phrase. Then the later phrase perhaps fits in also. So any dancer after 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they will be exhausted. Okay, this Ganapati with all the heavy body comes and sits down, you see. Marut Sundari Chamarai Sevyamanam. Okay, so Marut Ganaha, so they all come and fan him. Okay, Marut Sundari Chamarai Sevyamanam. Okay, Ganadhishamishana Sunum Tamide. Read this. उदञ्चद्भुजावल्लरी दृश्यमूलोच्चलद्भ्रूलता विभ्रमभ्राजदक्षम् मरुत्सुन्दरी चामरैः सेव्यमानम् गणाधीशमीशानसूनुं तमीडे. Then स्फुरन्निष्ठुरालोल 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 पिङ्गाक्षितारम्
पिङ्गाक्षितारम्
पिङ्गाक्षितारम् कृपाकोमलोदारलीलावतारम् 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 कलाबिन्दुगं गीयते योगिवर्यैः कलाबिन्दुगं गीयते योगिवर्यैः कलाबिन्दुगं गीयते योगिवर्यैः गणाधीशमीशानसूनुं तमीडे. So with this verse, so the long compounds will all be gone. So the next 3 verses are much simpler. So here the first phrase is Spurannishthuralola Pingakshitaram. So in the previous verse I told you, so this Akshakshi, okay? So here we find the same thing, Akshitaram. The word Tara, Tara means the stars, etc. So what do we do here? Akshitaram. So this Tara is used to refer to the central pupil of the eye. Okay. So Akshimadhya is referred by the word Tara. Okay. So Akshitaram here means the central portion of the eye. That is described here. So described by a few phrases before. Pingakshitaram. So you should imagine that is the elephant's head. Okay, that is how you have to understand this. So that is why it is Pingakshi. Okay. So Pingakshi refers to that particular some reddish brown color. Okay, that is what is called Pinga. Okay. So that is the phrase used to refer to that reddish brown color. So elephant's eyes have that. Pingakshitaram. That is one thing. Then the other description is Alola is another epithet. So Alola, see, I wanted to just understand this. In fact, there is something which is peculiar about this. There is something, a phrase called field of view. Field of view of the eye. Suppose you are just seeing here. So it's not that you don't see anything in the side. You will also be able to see something about something which is slightly above, slightly below. So one is the horizontal field of view, the other is vertical field of view. So for humans, the horizontal field of view can be something like 180, something like 200. Okay. So this is what it will be. It means the degrees. Okay? You can know. Beyond that, you will not be able to know. But in the case of elephants, it will be something close to 300. Okay, their field of view. So this Alola means something which is able to cover a wide field of view. Okay. So you may not see. The position is such that it is sort of placed in the side, if you see. So the field of view of elephant, okay, Bhagavan Srishti. So otherwise side somebody comes and attacks, they may not know. It is just in the front. You understand? So the Srishti of Bhagavan is such that it is almost having 300 plus. Okay, will be the field of view of elephants. So their ability to process things are also amazing. Okay? Cognitive ability is also very high. Anyway, now that is one aspect. Okay, Alola. It's not that it has to just move around like this. Okay, so it is able to get that. Then we have Nishthura. Nishthura should not be understood in the normal sense. Okay. So it should be understood in the sense of very, very sharp. Okay, so their eyesight is so sharp so that they can even take a pin. Okay, so that is another speciality of elephants. Sphurat. Okay, so that which is shining, glowing. So this is the description of the eyes of that elephant. So Sphuran Nishthuralola Pingakshitaram, the one who possesses that. Okay, that is how we have to understand every phrase. Yasya Saha. Then Kripa Komalodara Leelavataram. See, Kripa Komalodara Leelavataram. See, Kripa Komala. Okay. So Kripa refers to compassion, Komala, tenderness, soft, etc. Okay. Udara is something which has to do with the generosity. So you should just associate all of these with the virtue of Vinayaka through which you are blessed. So Leela Avataram means the one who is a manifestation of that. The one who is a manifestation of compassion, manifestation of generosity in blessing you with, and the one who is very sort of kind to you. And then we have the phrase Leela. Okay. So Leela means some graceful activity is also called Leela. Understand? So these are graceful acts you can understand. Or if you just think of the previous verse of Vinayaka dancing, that is also something which is a Leela. Okay, so he plays a Leela with the elephant head and then the various other things that are also amusing. Okay, the one who is a manifestation of all this. Okay? We have the word Krishna Leela. See, Krishna Leela means the graceful acts of Krishna. So these are the things which one can conceive as the graceful acts of Vinayaka. So that is how the phrase comes, Kripa Komalodara Leelavataram. Then we have a phrase, Kalabindugam Giyate Yogi Varyehi. Kalabindugam. See, Kala normally refers to any kind of music, art, dance, etc. This is what we call. We have in fact Chatushashti Kala we say. But here we should not understand them that way. Okay. So Kala Bindu, these are two technical phrases that have been employed here. So because of the phrase gam there. Okay. So Kala Bindu gam means Tatra Gacchati, Tatra Tishtati. It is in that sense we use the word ga. Okay. So Kala Bindu Gam. So Gam should also not be understood as Gamya. So through them you know that is not also possible. So Kala Bindu, I was just thinking and I was trying to decipher the meaning. So then I came to understand that these are technical phrases employed in the Shaivagama Shastra. In Shaivagama Shastra, in fact there is an interesting verse. I'll just tell that verse. You repeat. Satchidananda Vibhavat
Satchidananda Vibhavat
Satchidananda Vibhavat Sakalat Parameshwarat
Sakalat Parameshwarat
Sakalat Parameshwarat Asit Shaktistato Nadaha Asit Shaktistato Nadaha Asit Shaktistato Nadaha Nadad Bindu Samudbhavaha Nadad Bindu Samudbhavaha Nadad Bindu Samudbhavaha. So many of you would have had the occasion to listen to at least in the Tamil side. See, Nada Bindu Kaladi Namo Nama. Have you heard? Veda Mantra Swarupa Namo Nama. Nada Bindu Kala. Understand? So these are in the Shaivagama we have. So this is something which is mysterious to the whole universe even today, as it was thousands of years before. So what is the origin? What came first? So they say Nada, then Bindu, then Kala. So these are descriptions of the primitive form of universe. So different Siddhantas describe in different ways. So that is how we have this phrase. So the other Kala Bindu Gam means the one who is central to that. Then we have the phrase Giyate Yogi Varyehi. Yogi Varyehi Tvam Giyate means you are praised by the yogis. Okay. So Nada Bindu Kala, so those kinds of things are referred here. Kala Bindugam Giyate Yogi Varyehi Ganadhishamishana Sunam Tamide. Okay, the next two verses are much simpler. Of course, one can explain these two verses for 2 hours each, but I'll just finish it in next 5-6 minutes. Okay. See, Yamekaksharam Nirmalam Nirvikalpam. Yamekaksharam Nirmalam Nirvikalpam. Yamekaksharam Nirmalam Nirvikalpam. Gunatitamanandam Akara Shunyam. Gunatitamanandam Shunyam. Gunatitamakara Shunyam. Paramparam Omkaram Amnaya Garbham. Paramparam Omkaram Amnaya Garbham. Paramparam Omkaram Amnaya Garbham. Vadanti Pragalbham Puranam Tamide. Vadanti Pragalbham Puranam Tamide. Vadanti Pragalbham Puranam Tamide. So here, most of the epithets that have been employed here will be familiar to those who have studied a bit of Vedanta. Okay? Now, I am not going to describe this in great detail, each of them. So, Yam Ekaksharam Nirmalam Nirvikalpam Gunatitam Anandam Akara Shunya. These are all simple phrases. Akara Shunya means one who does not have any form. So Gunatita, one who has transcended all the gunas. Anandam means an embodiment of bliss. Then we have Nirmalam Nirvikalpam. Yam Ekaksharam. So this Ekaksharam refers to this Omkara. So that in the third quarter you find Paramparam Omkaram. So Omkaram Amnaya Garbham. The word Amnaya refers to Veda. So Amnaya Garbham means, so the central part of Amnaya. Understand? The central part of Amnaya. The Garbha is considered one who is residing in that. So the one who is central to that, both can be referred by the word Garbham. So Amnaya Garbham Vadanti. See, Yam Vadanti means the one who is spoken by these terms, okay, by Maharshis. Pragalbham Puranam Tamide. Pragalbham Puranam Tamide. So Pragalbha refers to something which is extraordinary. Okay, so brilliance in various ways, Pragalbha can be employed. In fact, there is an interesting description I am reminded. Pragalbha, without Pragalbha, Saundarya Yukta Nari, as she is useless. So to describe something, so Saundarya is there but no intelligence is there, no Samarthya, no smartness. This Pragalbhyam is something which refers to the intelligence, smartness and so on. Now he says Pragalbhaha means the one who possesses all this. Okay, Pragalbham Tam Ishanam Idehe. See, Puranam. So the word Purana, see, so this can also be understood in 2 ways. So Puranam Ide, someone who is, see, we have the word Purana normally employed to refer to a body of text. The Bhagavata Purana, Vishnu Purana. Okay. So Puranam actually means something which is old, that is all. So something which is old, narrated by a text is also called Purana. So here we should understand the word Purana to be someone who is eternal. Okay. So that is the whole idea. So this basically, if any of you are interested, you can see very similar descriptions. So in the Upanishad, see, Tvam Gunatrayatitaha, Tvam Kalatrayatitaha, Tvam Avasthatrayatitaha. So all that will be there in the Upanishad. Okay, Ganapatyathar Vashirasha. So keeping that in mind, Bhagavatpada has uses several use epithets have been employed here. Then Chidananda Sandraya Shantaya Tubhyam. Chidananda Sandraya Shantaya Tubhyam. Chidananda Sandraya Shantaya Tubhyam. Namo Vishvakartre Cha Hantre Cha Tubhyam. Namo Vishvakartre Cha Hantre Cha Tubhyam. Namo Vishvakartre Cha
Hantre Chatubhyam.
Hartre Hartre Cha Tubhyam. Namo Ananta Leelaya Kaivalya Bhase. Namo Ananta Leelaya Kaivalya Bhase. Namo Ananta Leelaya Kaivalya Bhase. Namo Vishvabija Prasidesha Suno. Namo Vishvabija Prasidesha Suno. Namo Vishvabija Prasidesha Suno. And again, this is something which is much easier to understand. Chidananda Sandraya. Sandra means something which is Ghanibhuta, essence. See, the one who is the essence of consciousness and bliss. Okay, Chidananda Sandraya. In fact, we have this phrases, no? There also Tvam Vangmayas Tvam Chinmayaha Tvam Anandamayas Tvam Brahmamayaha. So most of these descriptions come from the Upanishad. Then Shantaya Tubhyam Namo Vishvakartre. See, Vishvakartre, Vishvahantre. In fact, there we will have no Sarvam Kalvidam Twatto Jayate, Sarvam Kalvidam Twattastisthati, Sarvam Kalvidam Tvailayameshyati. So all that we will find in the Ganapati Atharva Shirsha Upanishad. So Namo Ananta Leelaya Kaivalya Bhase. Namo Vishvabija. Vishvabija means, so here Ganapati is described as the primordial entity from which the entire universe emanates. Okay. Tvam Brahma, Tvam Vishnu, Tvam Rudras, Tvam Indraha. So all that will be described there. So keeping all that in mind, so he says Namo Vishvabija Prasidesha Suno. The last one is the most simplest. Okay, Palashruti. What will you gain by reading this? So this is the Palashruti Shloka. Imam Sustavam Prataruthaya Bhaktya. Imam Sustavam Prataruthaya Bhaktya. Imam Sustavam Prataruthaya Bhaktya. Patedyastu martyo labhet sarva kaman.
Patedyastu martyo labhet
sarva kaman. Patedyastu martyo labhet
sarva kaman.
Ganesha prasadena siddhyanti vachaha. Ganesha prasadena siddhyanti vachaha.
Ganesha-prasadena siddhyanti vachaha.
Ganeshe vibhau durlabham kim prasanne. Ganeshe vibhau durlabham kim prasanne. Ganeshe vibhau durlabham kim prasanne. Ganeshe prasanne kim durlabham. Which means, what is it that you cannot get if Ganesha is pleased? Ganeshe prasanne kim durlabham. And Vibhu means the one who has all the power with him. Understand? All the power with him. So if such a person is pleased, what is it that you will not get? This is what the last line says. Ganesha prasadena siddhyanti vachaha. See, most of the things are dependent on how we speak, what we speak, when we speak. So all that is very important. Okay, siddhyanti vachaha. The right choice of the words at the right place at the right time will all be given by Ganesha. You understand? So Ganesha prasadena siddhyanti vachaha. So then, for whom patedyastu, okay, the one who reads. When prataruthaya. This prataruthaya is something which is very important. Okay, prataruthaya jhaditi kafi panam. Prataruthaya something else. So this is what many people do. So you do this first, then you engage in other activities. Pratharuthaya. See, you get up and then chant this and then move on to other activities. And that too bhaktya pata, with devotion. Okay. So then all these things will happen. Imam sustavam. Sustavam. Stava is anything that is in praise is called stava. Okay. Sustavam means this is something which you can see. So has a variety of verses. Some verses keep describing the physical aspects of Ganesha. Some are far more poetic in nature, so which makes us rejoice. Okay. And the last part, as you see, the last two are highly Vedantic in nature. So this is how he starts with and then ends with profound Vedanta. So therefore, Sustavam. And in between you saw various other Agama Shastras, various things have been introduced. Imam sustavam prataruthaya bhaktya patedyastu martyaha labhet salva kaman. He will get whatever he seeks for through the blessing of Ganesha. Ganesha prasadena siddhyanti vachaha Ganeshe vibhau durlabham kim prasanne. Okay, so we'll stop here. So this verse, last one is almost nothing. So anybody who knows a bit of Sanskrit, you will understand that. The other two previous verses, as we saw, is filled with the Vedantic terms. So those who have exposed themselves to Vedanta can easily understand. But the previous verses, 6 verses, first 6, so cannot be so easily understood by people even with reasonable amount of Sanskrit knowledge. So the compounds were quite complex. So it took some time for me to understand. I must thank this Sanatana Dharma and Ramakrishna ji. For I have not read this Ganesha-bhujanga before. So it was a good opportunity for me to learn something new, enjoy, and this opportunity is something which is always cherished. Sarve sukhinas santu, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.